work, right? You might like to describe this to people.
Yes, Cliff Rescue now contributes about 10% of our work, about 50% of it is medical. Here, a fisherman was involved in a crash at the base of North Head. He was brought to shore. In actual fact, this looks a little more dramatic than it actually was, because in actual fact he just fainted when we hit the deck at the top.
Yeah.
He just broke his ankle, and we managed to transfer him to hospital with no problem at all by care of the ambulance service.
Because most of your work's of a weekend, so what's it like to be a helicopter widower?
Well, Mike, it's hard work being married to a doctor, because you're not marrying just an ordinary person. You're marrying someone who has a certain way of life, not a 9-to-5 job.
So how are you feeling on the weekends? Just sitting alone crying into your pillow?
No, it gets a bit frustrating, actually, because you never know when you expect your dinner. Well, I have to ring up the theatre and cancel the booking because there might be an emergency call.
Yeah.
But it is really exciting, because I'm aware that new medical frontiers have been broken by this type of work.
That's right. And I guess in 10 years' time, if we're having the same conversation, it'll be so mundane. There'll be many of these units all around the country.
I hope that the day that the helicopter can come in and land at a hospital, we can take our patient out, put them into the emergency area, and everyone looks as if we were a four-wheel ambulance. That'll be the day that the helicopter service has arrived.
Come of age. Well, now, the big question is, when are you going to get a honeymoon? And where? She's looking at him. I mean, you're the one who's causing the problems.
Well, we're both pretty well involved in our work at the moment, and we anticipate early next year, to go overseas and see the folks.
Well, that'll be lovely. You won't be going by copter, though, I suppose.
No, I don't think so. I'll be going over to Munich and Zurich to look at their systems in September. And then next May, Mike goes to a conference, hopefully in California, and while he's doing whatever he's doing, which I can't understand at all, I'll be zipping off to Houston and putting Band-Aids on over there.
Well, where's the honeymoon come? I mean, it sounds like you're going on separate honeymoons.
We had it on Sunday night. It was great fun.
Good. Well, at least you got the honeymoon. Right. Very nice to meet you. A most spectacular wedding, and a wonderful way of publicising what you're all about. Would you wish them both very, very well? Sue and Mike. Mr. and Mrs. Doucette. Right, we're going to take a break. Two wild and woolly guys, and they've come up with something very, very new, which has had rave reviews. Graham Bond and Rory O'Donoghue are next.
For Dr. Sue Rowley, who spends most of her working time either acting as lookout or hanging from the Wales rescue helicopter, her 20-minute flight over Sydney today was far from the norm. After meeting 20 months ago, Sue and Michael set a date for their wedding and then a venue for it, hovering 2,000 feet above the Sydney Opera House and harbour foreshores. But Michael, who had flown only once before in the chopper, acting as a dummy patient for Sue, was unsure whether he was more nervous about the marriage or the flight. The couple took off from the helipad at the Royal North Shore Hospital. The Reverend Ted Knopps officiated and performed the unusual ceremony, a ceremony which Mr. Knopps admitted was one of his most unusual. Because the 5-seater Bell Jet Ranger chopper didn't exactly accommodate the number for a church wedding, invitations were naturally limited. Sue's best friend, Kerry McCormick, acted as bridesmaid, and Peter Howe was the best man and pilot. Once the ceremony was completed, it was back to the helipad where they signed the wedding certificate in the hospital's chapel. Sue and Michael then went off to a champagne breakfast at Balmoral Beach, followed by a cocktail party at Sue's Balmoral home. To say that the couple were flying high today would be a massive understatement. Michael Munro, Eyewitness News.
You went on a film.
Hi, Mike, how are you?
So, just hold the door for this one too. Sorry.
Oh, yes.
Yes, thanks very much. I'll say that.